Hello YouTube, hello ladies and gentlemen. Today we're doing something very beautiful. We're doing the jungle tier list, which will help you climb, which will help you to, if you have it open in the background, understand what the enemies picking, why the enemies are picking, and just have a good knowledge on what is currently strong. I'm gonna make this very quick. This is especially targeted around the lower elo of brackets, so until around the diamond elo. Below that, of course, there will also be some information above diamond, since I'm a challenger player myself, and I'm gonna share you everything and my thought process on the patch 14.10. We're gonna start with Masti because that is my personal favorite champion. He is currently Z tier. He's going to get buffed a little bit. It's a stat buff. He's gonna get armor growth, AD growth, attack speed growth, and also some HP growth. But in total, it's more of a placebo effect. It's just gonna boost his win rate at around 1%. So I assume he's gonna be around B minus, Z plus after that, if you're able to make him work. And I will be doing that on streams as well and on my YouTube videos. And then after those buff, I think I can make this champion around E tier, A tier. Okay, let's talk about Shen. There is some way how to make him work. So I would put him around Z tier. I don't think he's too optional. The problem with Shen is just he's a little bit too slow in everything he does. If you take another champion like Brand, and I will rate Brand here in this second as well, he's just around S tier, is just way faster in everything he does. Brand also is able to get the CC off. If Shen only has the E flash, after Shen has flash and cooldown, he's just not that good of a champion, and you can also react pretty well to his ganks. I don't think it's that big of a problem. Shen is very optional if you have good hyper carries and also good setup. Let's say you have a Twisted Fate mid lane with a Sun, then Shen is for sure optional. Zyra, I wouldn't recommend. She is around Z tier though, because champions that are AP are generally speaking very broken. Rumble is secretly broken. Highly recommend to pick it up. Lilia, also very broken right now. You already noticed that there are a lot of AP champions on the top, and yes, AP in general is on this patch simply the strongest, and I would recommend, if you can play an AP champion, also use it. Talia is still S tier. She's getting nerfed next patch. She will be around A tier, maybe A minus at max, but she will for sure be very fine. Diana as well, S tier for lower elo. She's probably even next to Brand, the strongest jungle champion there is currently, and I would highly recommend to pick up Diana if you're able to play her well. Because we're talking about lower elo, Vi is and will always be very viable. I think especially because of the Arcane Riot Games always wanted this champion to be very strong here in this position, and now let's get it started. Briar, I don't think Briar's that good, and lower elo does work. If you do play her, I would recommend a very lethality playstyle. Nocturne is around B tier because his lower elo is around A tier. B plus, A minus. Would recommend if you play Nocturne. Do not fall into the trap of going Eclipse or Hexblade. Just do Strikebreaker into Black Cleaver / Spear of Sojin into Frozen Heart / Spirit Visage, and you will be very fine to go. Skarner is in general speaking very broken, so I will put him around B tier. And then we're talking about Warwick. Warwick is strong, but you have to either go Strikebreaker, Titanic Hydra. I think everything else, in my opinion, is just very, very stupid. And this champion in lower elo is doable. I would recommend it though if you are a Warwick enjoyer, especially for one tricks. This champion is very, very optional. Nidalee is around B tier because I think she's hard to master, but she's also an AP champion that can be very fine. Kayn is around B minus, not that strong in this particular patch. Belvev is also around B tier. She got nerfed and hit pretty hard this patch. She dropped around 5%, so that's also not what we like to see, but we do have to accept. Jack's jungle, I just don't think it's that good, even in lower elo. Potentially we can rate him around Z tier. Because it's lower elo, the higher elo we go, the worse it gets, in my opinion. Graves is a very fine jungler, especially because crit items are still strong. Keep in mind, crit items will also get nerfed, but then Graves will probably drop from A tier to B tier, and I do think he's very fine. Kiana jungle, especially for lower elo, I just wouldn't recommend. I don't think it's that good, but I will still put him around Z tier, because we do have to say that Master Yi is not particularly stronger than Kiana. Let's talk about Xing Zhao. Xing Zhao is 100% A to S tier. If you do play him with Titanic Hydra for the auto attack reset and a Sandra Sky, this champion gets very strong. My recommendation, Sandra Sky first into Titanic Hydra, then auto E on the enemy, auto attack Q, cancel the first auto attack animation with Q, then you press Q, then do Titanic Hydra, boom, then you have done the second Q, you still didn't use your W, and then you're gonna maybe flash or just walk closer to the enemies, do the third Q, knock him up, instantly pressing W, canceling the last Q animation, and you will hit your enemy very consistently. Zechani is just dog shit, don't play this champion. Skarner, where's my other Skarner? He is here right next to him, so I will also put him next to him. Rel also is not a jungle champion anymore, got nerfed way too hard. Zechani 100% needs some buffs. Dr. Mundo is also not very optional, he has a good clear, but that's it. His gank setup is non-existent, too useless. Like, imagine that Dr. Mundo ganking Tristana. Tristana just jumps away. There's nothing that is. Mordekaiser in lower elo, it's okay because you can full clear very consistently. He takes objectives pretty fine. He does take void grabs pretty decently. Also, his ult is pretty okay. So I would put him around Z tier. Same for Maokai, is around Z tier. Could potentially be B+. He's for sure above. He's for sure above Mordekaiser. He's for sure strong. I would even rate him around here when I think about it. I mean, left to right doesn't matter too much, but we can say it matters. It matters a little bit. Now, Jarvan I will put on A tier. Jarvan is pretty weak in comparison as well, but that's mainly because APs are so strong. If APs do get nerfed, I do believe that Jarvan will have it way easier, and I also think his win rate will increase. I also do believe that people just buy Jarvan wrong all the way. They should never go Eclipse. That's just a bait item. You should always be going Sunder or Sky. And then simply going Black Cleaver / Zojin, same for Nocturne, and then Frozen Heart Spirit Visage. Keep in mind, I never go Morph Malmuchus with Jarvan. I would always recommend to go Spirit Visage here in this position. Ivan, completely fine to play. If you can play him well, he can also be A tier. I will put him around B tier because he's almost at the same skill as Belbeth right now. Rengar, in lower elo, I think you can exploit enemies pretty well with a Rengar, and there's a lot of potential. I do believe that he is pretty fine, but lower elo people I saw struggle with the newest patch, and I would rate him around B tier right now in lower elo. But honestly, guys, if people learn how to play him, if they watch more of the high elo players, like streamers like Nadinata or Pussy Poo or Scrapnoop, that he would easily be A tier. So that's what my personal opinion. Here's here in Rengar in this position. I will just put him next to Nidalee and Warwick. Evelyn, also not that optional, that broken right now, but she's for sure B tier, completely fine. Also AP champion, very decent. Sylas actually is a Z tier, is optional too. If you're a good Sylas player, I do have a coaching client who plays Sylas very consistently. Shout out to Mr. Crisis, my friend Bibi. And now we're going to Pantheon. Pantheon is fine, also around Z tier. You can play him, no problem. Viego, like Pantheon is more of a laner, but he's totally fine in the jungle, and I wouldn't mind playing a little bit of Pantheon here and there. Then we have Viego. He is currently B tier. I do think his passive that he's able to pick up some champions is indeed very, very strong. Then we have Udyr. Udyr is, where's the other Udyr? Here's the other Udyr. Udyr is just very fine. He's A tier. AP can also take a huge usage out of Blackfire, Torch, and Liandry's. I think it's completely fine. Tarek is just dog shit in the jungle in general. Gragas also completely fine. Zac completely fine. Both the same. If you can play them well, they will work pretty decently. Amumu is not the best right now. Could be better. There were patches where he's 80. I think he will get stronger in the near future. Kha'Zix is pretty much similar as Belveth and Ivan here in this position. You can just see it the same. Fiddlesticks is a decent counter of all these AP champions. I will rate him around 80, especially in lower elo. I think you can make great usage out of it. Wukong is not that strong in general, but in lower elo he is indeed pretty strong. And of course, Karthus is absolutely piss broken. Next to the Diana, he also gets a nerf next patch here. Now we're talking about Kindred. All right. Now we're talking about Kindred. I will be putting Kindred on my B tier. Do believe, especially when you understand how to invade properly, which also explained in the course, by the way. If you didn't know, currently my coaching course, if you're interested in coaching, just DM me on Discord, is on 20% discount. You can see on the link in the description. Get on the website right now, check it out. I highly am confident that you can reach your goals. We can do it this time. You can DM me on Discord, send me your current OPGG, and I will take a look at your account and tell you how high I estimate you can be climbing with it. And since I'm so confident that the course will help you, I can also give you my personal opinion before you are getting it, if you will be reaching goals and if you can even charge money back if you don't. I'm very confident that you will reach your goals. Highly recommend to check out the course in the description right now. Let's continue talking about the champions here. Echo completely fine. Also, AP champion, I will put him next to Evelyn. If you do make it work with him, it's pretty similar to Evelyn. I do believe he's even a little bit stronger. Can potentially become stronger if he is played pretty well. Timo is just not that optimal, but if you can play him well, he's Zitia. He's better than Zetrani, which is crazy. Nafari not a champion. Zed is not a champion in the jungle. Nautilus is not a champion in the jungle. Volibear is pretty fine, but he does seem to be not too strong, which I really dislike because there's like phases where Volibear just gets too strong and then he gets too weak again immediately. I really dislike seeing that. Now Lee Sin is, I think Lee Sin is pretty decent. He's next to Kindred. He's, yeah, same in the beat. He is also around Belvev, Kha'Zix, Ivan. They're all almost at the same skill. Ramos is not that strong, even though ADCs are broken, but Ramos, I don't know why, but I never see him. I don't think he's too broken. I do think he's fine. He's probably next to Master Yi, full chilling. Gwen, beautiful counter pick. Not the best jungler in general, but a beautiful counter pick. She is for sure not as strong as the B champions. And the Chuani is also next to Gwen. Those are all fine, but I think the B tier AP champions are in general just better. Elise is broken. I think Elise is very strong. People don't know properly how to play her, but especially if you take a look at good Elise players like Kirei Sama, good Elise players like Agrin, what they are able to do, it is beyond funny. It is just absolutely crazy that this champion is still not permanently banned by and nerfed by Riot Games themselves. Okay, Nico is fine on the Z tier, Poppy is fine on the Z tier, Nunu is fine on the Z tier, all pretty average slash shit. Nico can be decent, has good gank potential, does have CC, does have burst, but still not optional. Hecarim is next to the Gwen and Shyvana as well. I do not think that Hecarim has the requirements to get into B tier in this position, and Trundle we have around the Z tier as well. He is stronger than the other champions here 100%. Talon is around Z tier, but he is not that weak in comparison to the others here. I will put him just next to Maokai here. Then we have Olaf. Olaf is a little bit underrated. He could potentially be B tier, but he is just not better than the Hecarim nor Shyvana. Shaco is just shit and a very one-trick pony champion. Would not recommend to pick up if you're not experienced on Shaco already. Otherwise, I would just recommend to play him in lower elo. And Morgana, because she's an AP champion, is allowed to be in Z tier as well. And if AP champions gets nerfed, then she will potentially fall down to D tier or Z minus here. And Rek'Sai is very fine. If you can play Rek'Sai well, then he's, I think, B tier. And with all the information I gave you guys, you can take your own picture. You can have your own opinions. I would really like in the comments below how you would personally balance the current situation, because what I really dislike is that if we take a closer look at it, we see that there's too many AP champions here on the top, and I also think that there's so much potential for cool champions. Olaf is really cool in the jungle, Hecarim is cool, Mordekaiser is a very interesting pick. Then we have Set jungle is also an interesting idea, I think. Nunu we never see. Master Yi could potentially be also a little bit stronger. And if we just take a look at the top here, I think there are just too many, I would just say, C champions. Champions that are very annoying to play against, for those who don't know. And on the top, like the idea of Karthus just pressing ult, full carrying into pressing ult. I personally don't like it, but I would like to know your opinion, guys. What do you think? This is my tier list for this patch. If you guys want, also put it in the comments. Do you want me to put a patch for every single patch? What do you want me to do? A tier list for every single patch? I can do that. Depends on what you guys want to see. And I wish you a wonderful remaining day. Take care of yourselves and your families. And goodbye, my friends.